Hey everyone, welcome to Home with Kelly P. In today's video, I am sharing 2 DIY projects inspired for our Canadian Thanksgiving, which is happening next weekend. One of the projects was inspired by family traditions that we have had for years, and the other one is just in honor of our holiday coming up. Now, if you are new here, welcome. My name is Kelly, and please feel free to look around my channel. And if you enjoy home decor, DIY projects, organization, please think about subscribing and joining my growing little family here. And if you like this type of video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. So now, without any further rambling from me, let's get into DIY project number 1. So for my first DIY project, here are the materials that you are going to need to complete this. And all the items were either purchased at the dollar store or I already had them on hand. First thing is an easel, and it's any size that you wish. I had some of these galvanized letters, so I'm going to use the word thankful. Some paint, any paint colors will do. Of course, some paint brushes. And then I'm going to use some sort of embellishments for this. I'm not sure what I'm going to use yet, so I have a few things on hand. And of course, a glue gun so I can attach everything to the easel once it is painted. So first thing is I'm going to give my easel a quick coat of paint, and I picked up this paint from the dollar store. I thought it was gray, and as I put it on and started painting, I realized it had glitter in it. And this was not the look I was going for. But don't worry, it's just paint. You can always fix it. So I went back into my stash and I found this gray color. It's stone color from Martha Stewart, and this was the color I had wanted in the first place, so I just put a quick coat of paint over the top of the glitter one. Now I'm going to take my my word, and I'm actually going to paint it white because I found that it's, even though it was had that galvanized metal look, it wasn't showing up very well on the gray canvas, so I decided to give it a quick coat of white paint. So while everything was drying, I thought I would decide what I was going to put on this sign, and I ended up going with my wheat stalks. So I just bunched them together, and then I'm going to tie some twine around it into a nice little bow to make it look like a little bushel of wheat. Next up, it was just trimming the stems to what I thought would work well on the easel with the word. And if I need to trim it up some more, I can always do that. But that's what it looks like. I think this is going to look really, really sweet on the easel. So now that the word is all dry, I'm just going to place it on here on my board to see where I want to place it, and then I'm going to take my little wheat bundle and make sure it fits. And it ended up that I did need to trim off the ends a bit because it was just a bit too long. It was coming off the top and running into the word, so I will trim off the ends again. And then once I've done that, I'm just going to take my hot glue and I'm going to hot glue everything down into place. And don't forget to come follow me over on Instagram. I would love for you guys to come over and say hi and tag me in any of your posts if you happen to try either of these DIY projects. I would love to see what you guys are creating. And here's a quick look at the finished sign. I love it, but don't click off yet because I'll show you where I have actually put it in my house, and it looks gorgeous in the spot I selected, but I am loving the way this turned out. Today's video is part of a Canadian Thanksgiving collaboration with all these lovely Canadian YouTubers, and be sure to check them all out. I will leave a link to the playlist as well as links to their channels. You will not be disappointed. These are seriously some of the most talented DIY people, ladies, I have ever seen, and I am so proud to call them friends. So please go over and give them some love. Tell them I sent you, and be sure to check out all their videos because you will not be disappointed. So now we're going to head into DIY number 2, and this is inspired by family traditions that we've had throughout the years. And here are the materials that you are going to need. And once again, everything I either had on hand or purchased from my local dollar store. I found this give thanks tray at the dollar store. I picked up some words, some wooden words, and these little pumpkins. I had these craft paints on hand. I'm going to be using some white, some mossy green, and an orange that's actually called pumpkin orange. I'm going to use some black spray paint, and of course my trusty glue gun, and of course some paint brushes. So after taping off the tray around the edges of the tray with some painter's tape, I am going to give the bottom of this tray a quick coat of white paint to get rid of the sign that is there. This did end up taking, I would say 4 coats. I think it took me 4 coats to fully cover over the bottom of this tray. So it took a lot of white paint, but in the end, it worked out very well. So be sure to tell me in the comments below what kind of Thanksgiving traditions you have. So now I'm going to take these wood letters, and I ended up buying 3 packs of these just because there's only 26 letters in the alphabet, and I needed quite a few letter P's for this. So I'm going to be spelling out the word pumpkin patch. And now I'm just going to take these wood letters into my storage room, and I am going to give them a quick spray paint of black. And now these little pumpkins were on clips, so they quite easily popped off, and they're just styrofoam, so I just took an X-Acto knife to cut them in half just so that they would sit better when hot glued onto the sign. I only needed the half, and then once I cut them through, you could just kind of break them. Now I'm going to give one pumpkin a coat of this beautiful mossy green. It reminded me of those green pumpkins that I am seeing out in the pumpkin patches this year. And this one was actually called pumpkin spice. I think I've had it for a few years. I found the orange of these pumpkins just a little bright, so I thought I would just tone them down and make them a little bit more muted orange. And then this green color I'm going to use on one of the pumpkins. Now I started painting these like this, and then I suddenly remembered, I got the bright idea, why not put them on a skewer? It would make it so much easier to paint them. Hey, you live and learn. So after I realized this, I just went back and gave them a couple more coats of the paint. So now that everything is dry, I'm just going to remove the painter's tape and start placing everything on the bottom of the tray where I think I want everything to, before I glue it all down. So what I decided to do was, if you can see on the sides, there's some handles, and I used the top of the handle as kind of my marking where I wanted the letters to line up with, if that makes any sense. So I started with the second P in the word as my middle, and then just spaced them out from there. And then I did the same on the bottom to spell out patch. I lined up the T with that middle pea and pumpkin to kind of make sure everything was all lined up. And then I'm going to place my pumpkins in between the two words, just however I think looks okay. And then I'm going to start hot gluing. My words are not coming today. I'm going to start hot gluing everything down into place once I'm satisfied that I have everything lined up where I want it to be. So I mentioned that one of the DIYs was inspired by a family tradition, and it is this sign, the pumpkin patch sign, because for years we took our kids when they were younger, and my nieces came with me and nephews if they were in town, and we all did a local pumpkin patch apple orchard farm on Thanksgiving weekend, and it was a real family thing, and it was just so much fun. And I have discovered I'm going to be a grandma in March, and I cannot wait to take my little baby granddaughter for her pumpkin patch tour next year at this time. So it's exciting times. We're starting all over again. So this sign was really inspired by that family tradition. Now I'm just going to try to make little stems, and these turned into a little bit of a nightmare. I'm not very good at freehanding anything, so I'm just trying to fix it all up. But then I added on little stems, and here's how the sign turned out. And I think this is so darn cute. I absolutely love it. Another reason I decided to make two signs for this DIY project: in the stores in Canada, it's hard to find really cute signs, and when you do, they cost an arm and a leg. And really, these signs, I think, in the end, cost me less than $10 each. And here they are in my house. This is on my entryway table. I moved a few things around to make room for it, and I think it looks gorgeous here on this table. I am really, really happy with it here. This table just kind of looks like a little pumpkin patch because of all the pumpkins I do have on the table. So I thought this was the perfect spot for it. And my thankful sign took a place of honor in my dining room, which I love it here. The gray of the easel actually matches gray in the picture above. And of course, the wheat is the same as in the vase. And I think it just blends all so well in this room. It's perfect. But I want to wish everybody a very happy Thanksgiving from me to you and your family. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. And until I talk to you in my next one, have a great week. Bye.